Fair dinkum.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember they chucked him straight in?
The thing is, the UFC will pump anyone up because it's a business.
Yeah.
So whoever comes in, if you're killing it, look at comes up. They'll keep going. Let's go. Yalla. What happens if he gets slept onto the next?
Yeah,
So
next person.
you got to be aware of that, and you got to have the right team around you that will tell you whether to take bites, because you're gonna always want to say yes. Even if you don't want to say yes, you feel like you're gonna want to say yes. Yeah.
Pride, yeah.
I'm gonna see, but you need to be able to handle that yourself. But if you can't, your team needs to be able to.
How do you deal with the pride thing? Because I'm like, you know how the way there's majority of the thing is like males. A massive thing is ego and pride. You know what I mean? Like someone's calling you out, someone's chatting nonsense on the other side, bro. I know I've heard about you, but I know I've seen a mate of mine told me he choked you out at this gym or he knocked you out here. Like that sort of stuff, bro. Like I don't know how you deal with. Obviously, I have a very small threshold for that sort of stuff. I got a very hot temper. What about yourself, cuz? Tell me, how do you like control it?
I can only speak for myself because people deal with it differently. For me, I control it because of experience now. Because I had one or two face-offs or weigh-ins, and even I remember after one fight. Remember you boys were at that one maybe.
What was the outcome?
The guy jumped. I won, alhamdulillah, and then the guy jumped in the cage after he won his fight, and then he was, I don't know, yelling. I didn't even know him at all at that time. He was yelling and going crazy. These are things it takes a little bit of experience. When you look at the times you lost it a bit, you just reflect and go, I'm glad it happened then. Me, you go there prepared for it. You know what's going to happen. Like, depending on the person, you have a good guess. But that's to cover the reaction. But the pride, ego thing,
Cause surely, bro, you know you can crack anyone, or you can do anything you want at any given moment, and then you have someone chatting nonsense, and you've got like a million different ways to hurt this person.
but you also know people can hurt you.
That's 100. See?
So
I think that itself can humble you.
that's perspective. If you've been hurt or rocked before, or even just in the gym, you know.
Ah, man.
You learn. But yeah, maybe some people, I do see it that some people will abuse it. A clear example is seeing one guy, you'll maybe spar, that you see two people sparring, and it could be an easy round, you know, not too crazy. They're just like going at a good pace. But then you'll see, but that's because they're both at an even level. But then you see those two people spar with someone else, maybe that guy will still keep it nice like that. But this other guy, if he's sparring with the guy that he knows, I'm the dominant guy here, I'm the better athlete, he'll rip into him, bop, jab, cross, kick. Yeah, going crazy. Even, honestly, I was even in the Sydney fight that I went to recently to watch the team. I didn't fight, but there was someone who was supposed to fight someone else, and that fight got cancelled.
Okay.
And then they said it was for whatever reason. This guy is whatever. He got arrested. He can't fight. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then we rock up to the weigh-ins, and that guy's fighting. And who he's fighting now is a solid. No disrespect to the guy, but the guy was just off the street. They teed it up like that. You could see at the weigh-in he was very scared. He was not meant to be there.
Inexperience.
Yeah, just not even to the point where there's some fights you build people up and you know this is you're supposed to win, whatever. But this was an obvious, like, this is ridiculous.
What, like throwing in the deep end type of thing?
Yeah, the guy was walking backwards at the weigh-ins, like scared of the guy. Like, you don't see that in any weigh-in ever, even if the guy's scared, because, you know, you want to show a good front here.
Yeah.
And then on the fight night, this guy threw 1-2 punches. They didn't even really connect. It just hit the guy on the arms, and they had some weird situation where it ended up on the ground, and he threw 1-2 punches. The guy tapped out from that. And then, even then, this is a clear example of that. Even then, the referee stopped the fight, yeah? This hero is pushing the referee back, let's go, whatever, going crazy. And then he gets on the microphone, and he's yelling out, I want someone that wants to fight, not going to tap out. He's going crazy. But do you not see this guy was just booked to fight someone else that was 100% down to fight? And he was going to probably lose that one. And then they said it got cancelled. They can't fight anymore. Cool. Then last minute fight on the day. Last minute tee up. This guy and another guy.
That's silly, man.
Silly behaviors. It just is a thing. It depends on, I think, also the culture of the gym or where you're at. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
You're gonna look up to the top guys and what they're acting like. You're probably gonna try and do that.
Wallah, reminds me of Cobra Kai. Do you know what I mean? We were just talking about it 2 seconds
I don't
ago.
remember the movie, but yeah.
The show is good. You should take a look at
it's
the
a show
show.
now?
Bro. Hey, they've got a show on Netflix, man.
You rate it?
I rate it, cuz.
Suss it out.
One of the things in it is basically they look at the opposition gym. So Miyagi-Do karate and Cobra Kai, yeah? Basically, Cobra Kai is telling you strike first, strike hard, no mercy, all that bull. You know what I mean? And then obviously you know from experience that, and like you just said, in a fight, any given day, anyone can get cracked. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if Adesanya walked on the street and then some guy just clipped him one time, got him, put him out. You know what I mean? Like, I think the most important thing is to understand our fragility as human beings, and from there you can go forward and just go. Because I'm not gonna chat about me being a fighter, because I'm not a fighter. I've had a couple tussles in my day, but yeah, I've learned that there's 2 ways of dealing with things. You can let your emotions overtake and get absolutely nothing out of it, or you can actually like rein it in, understand that you're stronger for not allowing your or you can see the other person as pulling your strings, which is
Trying to
weak.
play on the situation.
Do you
Look
know
how
what I
many
mean?
people have been ripped by these guys. Tyson, punching all sorts of people, millions of dollars going down the drain. One thing I will say, me and my mate Josh have talked about this a few times, and because everyone has had little situations, you know, but we realized you need to actually speak to yourself. Well, for us anyway, we decided let's speak to ourselves and decide where our line is. That when it gets crossed, this is the reaction now. But some people will put that line up front. Some people don't even know that line's there. They'll just be reacting. But when you have that very, very clear boundary, okay, someone touches my wife, someone touches my sister, these are things that you say, if it can be handled differently, okay, differently. But if you're in the situation, then I'll give anyone a pass to react how they want to react. But aside from that, there should be that line. There should be very few things that will actually ever
trigger you.
Yeah,
I never thought of it.
never worth it.
Like sitting down and thinking to myself, okay, if this happens, A, B, C, D are the only times I'm going to react. Every other time it's, what's it called?
Emotion. Bang.
Relax.
You got a reaction.
You know, for me, I'm not a fighter at all. So
But you're a big guy.
yeah, no,
I'm trying to get into chin before ages. You want
what was it called? No, I like fighting. As in the watching it, the sport, but actually engaging in it, I never did. Yeah, but one thing for me, okay, since I'm a big guy, my whole life I've sort of been stronger than people purely because of size. Yeah, so there's times where if I'm driving, someone beeps the horn at me, my instinct is to lose it. Hey, what the F? But recent times, because the past 2-3 years I've got into UFC a lot, and watching it, I'm like, these guys here, if they're wearing normal clothes, they don't look like a fighter. Yeah? So if I get out of my car and a guy comes out to me and just whops me, that is just like just the thought of a guy, like I could pick on the wrong guy. It's like, okay, just too far. Does that happen to you? Like, do you ever, I'm assuming it doesn't happen to you at all, but like, do you ever think, wait a second, like if I'm about to lose at somebody, how do you know that guy himself isn't?
But that would be fun if you did train. You know?
See, that's different, bro.
That would
That's
be
what
fun
you
if
think.
you did train. But honestly, I'm just lucky that my very first coach,
Yeah.
Troy Skidmore, had such great values, because that was the guy when I went to the gym, and that was the culture when I was there. So black belt and the head coach, he led a great example. I could easily imagine if I went to another gym and they had different reactions. You know, this guy would always highlight, hey, you're here for self-defense, whatever, you learn it. Now you use it as a last resort. You don't walk around and this is my chance to go and throw people around and punch on and whatnot. In fact, I fought so much less since I started fighting than before.
About that, starting fighting, how, when, like what got you into it?
I always loved it, bro. Me and my brothers, we always loved it. And my old man, we loved just watching boxing, whatever. My dad used to tell us some air raids about how he boxed in Uganda.
All the stories he had, yeah.
So it was always fun to us. And then a few me in the gym used to, if you tell about the stories, the gym could fill you boys in. At Rosehill, we used to just have little fights every now and then. Just it was honestly fun. It wasn't anything other than fun on the school bus as well. But it got to like it was fun. I never wanted to do it properly. But me and my little brother would make a ring outside, would watch anime, throwing hands.
Oh.
But it was always just like that. And then one day I remember I just got off the bus. We moved to Sunbury randomly. And there's a sign there, Limitless Mixed Martial Arts. And I'm like, yallah.
Give it a chance.
Yeah, I went in and I spoke to this woman at reception, Megan, who's Troy's wife. And I told her I want to give it a crack. And she's like, when do you want to do it? I was like, well, I'm here now. But she's like, well, you can't come right now. She gave me some information to fill out and come back the next day, I think. And I did that, came back. There we go.
How old are you?
I was 17,
17.
just about to turn 18.
That's very late.
2 months before I turned 18. I started in December. Yeah, December of the year I was 17. So
How old are you now?
now I'm 23. So now it's December. Yeah, it's a pretty good time.
Wow.
Make you read out your birth certificate, bro.
Wow. Like I always thought. Oh wow.
No,
Like it just seems a bit late. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I started and I was just training, whatever, just doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai.
Mm.
I remember I got choked out first session straight away.
Oh well.
Well, Bluetooth,
What does everyone
bro.
cop that? Is that like
Allah,
an
lads.
initiation
Yeah.
thing?
Same thing.
I think it is maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Hectic choke.
Bro, I had some old guy, yeah? This is the funniest thing ever.
Quick before, is it like a regular thing? Like,
What?
Yeah,
like
like
happens?
the-
Well,
There's-
it's regular because
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on and they do,
Yeah.
so it's gonna happen.
And they do it on purpose, as in the first person.
But no, they actually give you they don't give you the hardest person. Sometimes they give you easy roll at the beginning.
Yeah.
If not, they give you someone who's very experienced who goes light roll with you. For me, when I first went into G-Force, it was the funniest thing ever. They gave me this big hench guy, purple belt. They look at me.
I think I know.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is he Turkish?
No,
Okay.
not. If
Yeah.
you, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's not him. There's a different guy. He's I think he's Greek or Italian. I'm not
Okay,
too sure
okay.
which one. White hair. He goes to me. So G goes to me. You look like you got a bit of size on you, so he chuck you in with him. Go, alright, bet. And I'm rolling around with this guy, yeah. And I'm feeling, bro, I got this guy because I'm kind of ragdolling him, yeah. Then I was on top of him in side control, and then he had his arm around my neck. And I'm like, bro, headlock. No one ever gets choked out in the UFC by a headlock, bro. And because of the adrenaline, I don't know what was happening to my body, I started blacking out. Because he actually had it tight around my neck.
Comes quick.
And I blacked out.
Comes quick.
And then I'm like, all I see is I wake up and I look up and my mate's like to me, hey, cuz, you alright? I'm like, what happened? He's like, he choked you out, bro. I'm like, nah, you're kidding me.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Is it just out of excitement as well? Like you jump in too eager?
It's just that it doesn't take much to go to sleep. I think it's only like 6-7 seconds, you know? That's it.
Because I still haven't tried BJJ yet, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
cop that. I'm gonna experience
yeah.
that.
It doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. When I say I got choked out, I didn't get choked out unconscious. He did a choke that's actually not very conventional. And I was like, bro, what's going on? I knew I had to tap because my throat was getting crushed in, bro. I was like,
It's the only option.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Baseball choke, yeah?
Nah, it wasn't even that. It was, look, I'm not going to call the guy out. It was an ugly choke to do to someone first. It was both hands in here. It was a big bloke as well. And then just went knuckles in straight to my throat.
Oh.
Yeah. I've never seen that. No one has ever done that.
That's called domestic abuse choke.
But that one's when you
I'm
call
not
the
laughing at
cops.
domestic.
Yeah, that's a bit of a situation
Oh.
there.
I'm gonna
But-
get cancelled for that.
That happened, man. And then I was like, whatever, let's go again. But I remember getting that. I remember it was good motivation for me. Like I'm like, okay, I can learn this stuff. I want to learn it and be able to do all this.
So what made you take the step to realize, you know, this is actually serious? I can actually get something in this sport. Because I know it's just a social thing at the start, and then before you know it, all of a sudden I see you taking it serious. I'm like, how did you even take that?
From early on, I feel like I commit myself pretty quickly to these kind of things. And I remember even sending a long message to Najim again, a long message
Shout out
outlining my
Najim.
outlining my plan. In that, after like 3-4 months training, I go, bro, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna train, and then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go blah blah blah, UFC, whatnot.
Ooh.
And it was just what I wanted to do. I loved it. So
You
when I
have a
went
screenshot of
there,
that still?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of screenshots I'm keeping in the bank. But yeah, and then the gym supported it. He goes, yeah, you got this, bro. You can do this.
I love that.
I feel like one thing I have is a lot of confidence in my ability, but sometimes, as I've learned, it's not 100% warranted.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing, but
Yeah.
that was one of the blessings on that behalf, because I felt like I could 100% do this. I'm like, I can go to the UFC. I can become a world champion. I didn't think, no, why not? What else is there to do? You got to train, you know, put in some work, have a few fights, keep training, keep working, travel a little bit. It's not too complicated. Yeah.
And then first fight.
First fight. So I did a jiu-jitsu tournament, which pretty quickly, I think after 4 weeks, there was again, my coach is a top guy. Yeah.
4 weeks after training.
4 weeks. I was just obsessed. And this also helps, again, my coach. I got to bring it back to my first coach, because he also said a lot of things that I realize now probably planted a little bit of a seed there. He said to me also when we traveled for that first comp, either way, a competition's coming up, and I said, Troy, can I do this competition? Not realizing that it's actually not something you do straight away. But he said, yes, of course. I want all my guys, if they want to compete, to go and compete. Because a lot of people won't want that to happen, because you need to show the gym as a strong force. You know, you need to put good guys through. He's like, let's go down and let's just do it. And then on the way in the car, I remember we had a little conversation. What is it you want to do, whatever. That was a great one. And then the fight itself, or the jiu-jitsu competition itself, so weird. I didn't even know what was going on. I was like, just waiting there. And then the guy said, go. I just ran forward. The guy just guillotined me within like 5 seconds. And then tapped. And then I won the next 3.
Oh, nice.
And then I won the next 3 without real technique, just, I think, scramble athleticism, and I wouldn't stop. I would just be going a bit annoying, actually. Like the people you see going too crazy, that was me. I was just like, I'm not going to stop. I'll spaz it out. And I somehow won those 3. Then I'm not sure how long after, and I had a Muay Thai interclub.
Okay.
And that was good too. I remember I won that one, and then I had a few more Muay Thai interclubs, and then I had Muay Thai amateur fight, which is a little bit of a step up from interclub. And then I remember going to Thailand. I said, I'm going to go to Thailand, and I'm going to spend a month there on my own and train MMA.
How was that?
That was good. That was good.
That would have been interesting, bro. Oh my god.
Because you were living on your own, right?
I lived
For
on
a whole
my own,
month.
and I went a little bit away from the gym. Yeah, I went maybe, considering you don't know the place, I went like 10, 15 kilometers away. Most people stay real close. You can stay on the same street. But from what I'd heard, because I did a little bit of asking around again, all from Limitless, there's a guy there, Simon Hughes, who, as a younger guy, he went down to Thailand, spent a few years there training and fighting Muay Thai. And he told me, yeah, stay a little bit away.
What's the reason?
He said it's going to get too crazy, and it's better to have your own personal space. Like it'll be a bit more pricey, but it's worth the cost. It's worth the cost if you're going to go there. You don't have to do the hard out type of staying. And I saw when I went there with my friends that were staying there, I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not staying here. Not because of the facilities, but the environment. I probably wouldn't have been too serious.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Dodged a fair few lady boys.
Bro, I'm glad. Those, I'll punch up with anyone. As soon as I say, shit, man, I'm moving.
Thanks.
I'm going to move it to the side.
Because do you punch him or do you not punch them? What is it?
But you don't need, look.
Nah, just this. I reckon, guys, move on.
But it was a good experience because I got to experience what it's like to train twice a day, full on, against good guys. And I saw the top guys. And I got to see my jiu-jitsu against these guys. And that gave me confidence too. And I said, okay, they're really good at MMA and wrestling, but the jiu-jitsu isn't super special, which is true. Not for everyone, but for the people I was training with at the time there. And then I came back and I moved to Absolute. I moved to Absolute to this gym. Damn, it sounds so short of a thing altogether, but then
What's the reason in like moving gyms? Because I'm not too
Actually-
sure about MMA gyms with differences and that.
I knew that I needed to be training all aspects of MMA, wrestling.
Or was Limitless just BJJ?
Limitless was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai,
Oh,
and it
okay.
was fantastic for those two things. And I spoke to my coach Troy before I made my decision and let him know, and he supported it. And I still go, kick back with him and chill and train every now and then. But when I was in Thailand, there was a guy there, Elliot, okay, fighter. He used to fight at Absolute. I'm not sure if he's still there. And he told me, because we're both there and he's Australian too. We're from Melbourne. I'm like, Matt, well, let's train together. He's like, I'm training at this gym. He's a pro fighter. Cool. It's a really good gym. This and that. I started checking it out. Okay, I'd actually met the owner of the gym before because he's close with, not close, but they do they have a business relationship, him and Troy. And I said, okay, let me go check it out. I went down, checked it out.
How long you been there? A year or two?
This will be 2 years this month. 2 years this month.
How is it? Like, is it like a different level above?
Well,
Like,
that gym is there for MMA and for athletic development, and especially in the last 2 years, they've grown massively in those areas. So they've got a wide range of fighters. Okay, they've got a massive fight team, which isn't everything. Okay, which what I also realize is not everything, but it just shows that they have what you need. The facilities are there. I feel like anyone at that gym, you have everything you need. No reason to not be able to make it. Everything is there that you need. Even culture and competition, training partners, coaching, work, facilities. There's no excuse there for this kind of gym. Yeah.
What about intrinsically? Like, as in, okay, yes, I can wake up, go to the gym. As in you, can wake up, go to the gym, see all these facilities, all the coaches, everything's there on a plate for you. But like intrinsically, like you wake up in the morning, how do you keep motivated every single day? Because from 17 till now, to keep the same goal, to keep the same.
It's been a bit of a journey with that, but I never have felt like I would stop this. But of course, sometimes, it's going to be a little bit harder. But there's so many things you learn. I don't want to aerate about it all day, but there are so many things you learn, even about motivating yourself. It's even hard. They say it takes confidence to take a day off, because you're going to beat yourself up about days off and stuff. Oh, should be doing more. There's little Russians out there running amok,
Tackling bears, yeah.
But then you learn, okay, part of it is, there's so many aspects. For me, it's just because I really believe that I can do what it is that I want to do. So when that is together, what you want to do and enjoy doing, plus you also believe and know that you can do it, it's hard to not, keep going. I just would keep training. And it's funny how my life has become that, from first training to now. So different. It's just everything that I knew that I needed to have has slowly but surely materialized. Alhamdulillah, it's just come around.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, and I've realized recently, maybe the last year or so, you created this Player One mindset. So you have your own podcast as well with your friend Josh. How did you come up with this Player One mindset? Because I've seen it before online, people talking about it, but then you kind of established it and kind of showing online as well how you
Just explain it, yeah.
What is
explain it.
So Josh and I, of course, like yourselves, motivated individuals and looking into personal development and stuff like this all the time. So that's like a bit of context to where the mindset was at. But it was really just a book that we read called The Game is Life. This is a fiction book, just a regular fiction book. Sometimes I'll get bored and go on books and see which free book is out there, to read on your phone.
Different human, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I'm like, let me read this one, The Game is Life, whatever. It had a catching title and page. And that book is about, it's based on life as a simulation, but these kids, they go into, the whole world is based on this. So everything revolves around this game. Okay, that's why the game is life. Your work, your income, all comes from this game. Your education, you go into this game, okay, and you live a life, and what you learn and from that you bring back with you. And then what you earn from there as well, you bring back with you. So it sets a lot of things up. And for those who come out of that game and haven't made certain moves or whatever the standards are, they haven't met, they are really low down in society. They're struggling, they're fighting, people getting killed, it's crazy. And then those who come out of this game and they've done really well in this game, they are the elite in society. They have a bit more of a, they've got more money. So the same thing here, the difference between the two classes. But it's really, there's a real difference there. So it was an interesting book. And then I went to Josh, bro, read this book, it's interesting. So I'm sharing what we have. And he read it too. And then we just started mucking around with the idea. We go, because it's before you go into this game, you can look at your character, and they have whole teams that are built for the richer people. They have whole teams that are built to give you the best shot in the game. They look at different things like background, where are you going to be born in this game, upbringing. Also, they have certain aspects like charisma, strength, all these different attributes that you can apply some credits to and have whatever advantage you can get. But a lot of what happens is dictated in the game. You know, there's only so much you can do outside of it. So the idea, though, of looking at yourself as a character and then picking attributes and leveling up, and then also the way these characters looked at themselves in the game, and then how they did really well, the two main characters in this book, what they did differently was when they were in the game, they somehow found a way to play it as if it was a game. And that opened up many things for them. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Banter. And we started doing that. We started looking at ourselves as a character, even just chatting about it. So then it just started from conversation. We'd be chatting about it nonstop. If your character was this, what would you do? And Josh would talk about his upbringing. It's a good way to explain certain things as well. It's okay, maybe I had this difficulty in my life, and so that it's given me this aspect. Maybe this has been the reason that I've had to go through this, and I've been in this situation, and this is the case, because what have I got from it here? Also, certain other people, like you boys meeting each other, could be a part of that, from that concept. And I did the same. I looked at certain things, I explained certain things.
Like in your personal life?
Pardon?
Like in your personal life, you looked at certain things, yeah.
I looked at I looked at myself and my own life, and I just tried to pick apart certain things. You try to think about, how did I get to here right now in that perspective? Like, what things have led me? Okay, when I was at school, I went to this school, and that made me a little bit more open-minded. I had a great family, alhamdulillah, I'm happy with, and having an upbringing of 2 other brothers, you know, you can be very competitive. And you just look at different things. Then you look at yourself as well and your own characteristics. And you just think, what are the things that I'm good at? What are the things that I feel like I need to improve? Just basic self-development analysis. But it's a good framework to operate off, because it makes it simple to identify things. Otherwise, it can be difficult to identify, you know, not only what we're good at, but what we're actually bad at, you know.
Yeah, it helps with self-awareness.
Yeah, like one of the things that I got from that was my attention span was very poor. Like, that's just an example of certain things.
I feel like.
I was
But you
like,
start to
okay.
be real with yourself, start to notice what you need to work on in order to move forward, yeah.
And then you can start to, you can start to take the right steps to try and do it. Now, it sounds good, you know, but at the end of the day, you're just a regular bloke, you know, making the same mistakes.
100%.
Yeah.
But no, I get where you're coming from, because if you think about it, there's certain things in life that you kind of like, you can consciously decide to do and not to do, yeah? So, for example, I'm someone who struggled with the idea of sleep for a long time. I thought it was a load of garbage that you need. Yeah. So I thought it was a load of garbage that people tried to sell to others, that if you don't get 8 hours of sleep, you're going to be shambolic. For the longest time, for I think a year and a half, bro, I lived off of like 3 hours of sleep. Because I'm thinking that the more I work, obviously the more I progress with my goals, with my status in society and stuff. And little did I know what was happening to me in the background, in my body, in my mind, and all that, and even my spiritual nature. I'm becoming shambolic, bro. Like, my whole body's deteriorating and my mind is going left. I'm getting controlled by my body and by my emotions and stuff. And I have, like, the conscious aspect of me isn't coming to the forefront. Do you get where I'm coming from? And for me, it's like, and then I looked at that, and then I looked at my environment, for example, and then I looked at what I was eating, if I was exercising, and they tell you all these things are important, but you're just like, nah, come on, guys, I got willpower, I got God, should be all right. But doesn't, like, God tells you do the right things by yourself, man.
100%. Sleep is everything, man. You can't neglect it. You can't neglect it at all.
You learn the hard way.
Yeah, like, that's something we even looked at from player one mindset as well. Like, you got to look at your character as an operating thing, and one massive part of that operating thing, if we didn't need to sleep, we would never sleep. We'd just be going all the time. There's a reason we sleep. Everything needs to have a shut off. every animal, everything needs its time to rest and replenish. And when you sleep, it's not just your physical recovery. Everything, even emotional, even mental, even spiritual.
Wallah.
Because everything happens in memory consolidation, recovery. But if you're not sleeping, you're waking up a little bit worse off. But there are things you can do. Of course, you can still operate, but over time, it adds up. It adds up.
Don't have to tell me about that, bro. Beta amyloid, huh?
But the good thing is, it's plenty of time to get good sleep, catch up.
100%, bro.
Right now,
What was that?
right now, the state of the world.
Bro, knock yourself out.
I got a question far left.
UFC.
Next UFC, but this question first, because I know you're an anime guy. Or even not anime, even if it's superheroes or whatever. If you were, because you love Player One and all that sort of life's a game. If life was a game, who would you be? What character? Anything. You're talking Marvel, DC.
Apart from yourself.
Be yourself.
I knew it.
It would have
Yeah.
a mad time. But
Iron Man's better than you. Come on.
pick something. Like what? So if life was a game,
Life was a game. You could choose any character. Ryu. Anyone.
oh, but that's me picking people that aren't real. So that's mean if I can be anything. You're saying if life was a game, who would I be
In the
this
game.
world?
Oh, not in this world.
world. In this world or a game?
Also, who would I be in general if I could just be anything?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Some anime guy, 100%.
Okay.
Sasuke.
I don't even know anime. I was going Nagasaki, what?
You know what? It'd be pretty mad being Luffy from One Piece or Gon from Hunter x Hunter.
See, right now, I wish I could talk to you right now.
Huh?
Yeah, because
Who's
Me
One
too.
Punch? How about One
I've got
Punch
no
Man?
idea.
Saitama?
I don't know his name.
That's him. I rate him, but boring, man. Didn't look like he's enjoying it, you know.
Yeah, not the basic Goku
Yeah.
and Gohan and Vegeta.
If I could pick, yeah, it'd probably be Luffy. Because look, he's out there really trying to get at something, right? He's trying to get the One Piece, the treasure, and he's got his crew that he built along the way as well. You know.
How about Finn from Finn and Jake, bro? He does that too. Adventure Time.
I haven't watched much Adventure Time. Oh, okay, wait. I think I know the show though. Finn,
Yeah.
which one's Finn? Is that the?
That's the one with the white thing on his head.
Hey, he has a great time. He's out there doing all sorts of weird shit. You know? Crazy. But One Piece, it'd be Luffy. Yeah.
what about this world?
In this world,
Yeah.
a human that's alive or dead.
Well,
Could be both.
That could be anyone. The thing is, it feels weird for me to pick.
yeah, human being.
who I
Yeah.
want to be and live their life. But
Who do you admire? Let's just say that instead. How about
admire
that?
a lot of people.
Besides Mr. Kakembo. He's a top bloke.
Admire a lot of people. Yeah, old man's a legend. But
It's tough.
It's a tough question.
Because it's weird. Because like, I want to.
no, it's good. It's actually better. I'll go with who I admire. Like, there's so many people though. But the thing is, it's hard.
Give your answers to.
Or even
my answers?
Yeah, give your answers. Don't just give Sam's.
No, it's
Oh,
hard
yeah.
because it's hard for me to. I feel maybe I go too deep when I don't have to because I'm thinking
No,
these guys have
go
other
deep.
flaws as well.
Go deep.
And
Yeah.
everyone has their little dark side that they've done all sorts of silly shit. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything crazy, but I admire a lot of qualities in a lot of different people. Like I look at so many different people. If you want to go off UFC fighters, of course I can look at people like Habib, the way he carries himself, conduct himself. He's got respect, but he'll defend himself as well. Also a lot of confidence that he has, and he's got good self-belief. Muhammad Ali stood for
Yeah.
Allah
good
yarhamu,
things,
yeah.
Allah
He stood for good things and didn't let himself. He could have took the easy way out so many times.
Yeah.
Jail,
Yeah, well,
Go to jail? just kick back and go to jail.
Yeah.
That shows that
He could have just said, nah, yeah, you guys are
I'm
alright.
sure there's got some heart in him.
In his
Yeah.
prime too.
Prime,
2-3 years yet?
yeah, 3 years, man. You're gonna go to jail for 3 years, come back and win a title.
MashaAllah, man.
MashaAllah.
Allah yarham
Crazy.
Rabbuh, bro. It's crazy.
A lot of people to admire, bro. You know, even in general life, you run across people and you go, damn, I want to,
Mufti
emulate
Mink, yeah.
that type of thing.
What are you? Go you. Somebody you admire.
Ooh, okay. We'll say, because I believe in, obviously, like, life's separated into 3 things. You got spiritual, physical, psychological. Physical, I would say, what's that guy's name? The one that does the CrossFit stuff. Apparently has my body type.
Oh, Matt Fraser.
Matt Fraser. Yeah, he'd be physical because he's got a rig like mine, and he can like. If I was to become at my peak, I'd look like him.
Reach your
apparently.
potential. That's your.
Yeah. So
Matt Fraser. I gotta suss
Yeah.
this out.
yeah.
Yeah, like there's world
It's a
CrossFit
solid
games and that.
accomplishment to win a CrossFit world champion.
Yeah, and this guy's actually very solid, but he's just very fit as well. Like he's just always going. Just his mental game as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it just keeps persisting. Just
It'd be him or
Unreal.
Goggins. 100%.
CrossFit's air raid, bro.
Goggins, you'd have to put up with a lot of shit though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Broken shit, all sorts of crazy stuff.
heartless.
I listened to the book.
100 miles.
This
Was it?
bloke,
But
man.
it G'd you up, yeah?
100,
You
but bro, I'm
said, I
running.
listening to that
listening
toll. I was listening to that toll. I had my AirPods in. I did this pallet, bro. I was rapping them quick.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro.
Cheese it up.
But yeah, spiritual. Obviously, be the Rasul Sallallahu but
But you want to be him?
Admire.
close to
admire,
him
yeah,
as
yeah,
possible,
yeah.
bro.
Okay.
As close to him as possible, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're working towards. I don't want to turn it too religious, but let's be honest.
Perfect man.
Habib said the same thing, yeah. But he said not. He said that's his role model.
Yeah. Admire.
Him, because that's the perfect example.
Yeah,
So
wallah.
look to him, but no one can be.
Anybody him, yeah.
We forget him, bro. Like a lot of the times, we just forget like how important he is in our life, because he's like the manual for life. You know what I mean?
Referred to, bro. As you think about character and something infallible, which of course in this world you look around and you see flaws in so many people, but to have someone in our religion that is this in other religions? I'm not too sure if it is that they have a character that is referred to as perfect.
No.
They would say Jesus.
No, but it's not even
Christianity.
close though.
But
Character-wise.
Jesus is not a religion as well. Isn't he? Said it's not a religion.
Yeah, he's not perfect though in our religion.
Yeah.
Well, we'd say close to perfect, because I think perfection is just God in like, because He is the best creation. Like Allah said, the best creation I've had. That's like including everything and encompassing everything. But if you're thinking about perfect, I think he had his one misfall, but one of his, no, it's not even a misfall.
don't know.
It's
There's
like
mixed
Abasa
opinions
Abasa
about
wa
that.
Tawalla, one of those
I
surahs
don't know.
where he frowned and turned away, but it's not. I think it's kind of like he has his shortcomings as is a human. Do you know what I mean? Like the year of Huzn, like he had depression and all that sort of stuff. Like the year of depression, you know what that is? Taif and his wife dying. Khadija radiallahu anha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was
then all that
it was
sort of
known
stuff.
in his
So
lifetime. Yeah.
he had human tendencies. Do you know what I mean? So he's like the perfect example of how to overcome difficulty.
That shows you that's part of being a human.
Yeah,
Mm. Even he went through that. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
It's a part of it. Like I think even if you were going to say perfect, that is part of perfect, because you can't have perfect. The idea itself doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Because you need the opposite. You need something to
Yeah,
able to feel it, you see?
100%.
You wouldn't know it's perfect if there's nothing
Yeah.
that's opposite to it.
Imperfect, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
What you?
was it spiritual?
I already done
Physical?
spiritual, physical would be my favorite, like I said, but mental,
Goggins.
it would be Goggins. It had to be, because he's clocked it.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm
Right.
coming
It's
from?
that way, man. It looks that way.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
there's
Imagine
nothing
he
you
doesn't
can't
do
do.
all he says he
He's got a
does.
twin brother.
I'm serious.
What was that?
Imagine he doesn't do everything he says.
I think there's too much evidence out there. Too many
Yeah.
people that have said and verified.
And people that are like
Yeah.
racing with him as well, doing the
It'd be hard to
100-mile
air raid
runs.
that long.
Yeah, and that.
Air raid your way through special forces and live and everything the whole time you're air raiding, kick them back.
Wallah, bro.
You're gonna get caught out.
What about you? Go. Tell us.
Mm.
You can not go from my framework. You can do your own thing.
No. I'm
There's no
gonna. What I'm
rules.
gonna do.
Some people you look up to.
Commercial break. Yeah.
I. In a way, in terms of like being humble, like because I've always been a very up until recently very arrogant person in terms of
Say cocky
What
rather than
way?
arrogant.
What way?
sports. I played a lot of soccer my whole life and just always thought I was the guy. I was the S word. That makes sense, you know. But injuries and all these things just sort of just shut me up, you know, and just humbled me and made me believe, you know what, there's people out there better than you, people out there that,
Always.
always.
Yeah, I think that's just something we have to accept.
You have to
Yes.
but that should motivate you.
Yeah,
But go
someone's taller than you, someone's stronger than you, someone's whatever. And then Habib sort of told me, listen, like taught me in a way. What I learned from him was, yes, I admire his his ability in fighting and his tenacity, and it's just like a bulldog. It's just scary the way he is. But for him to say after his last fight, after one of his best achievements, to bully Justin Gaethje and then come out and say, and then the way he finished him as well, he didn't want to do armbar. I'm thinking this guy is he's cuckoo, you know, like for someone like in my head I was like, you know, for someone to be thinking about someone else's parents, you know, and his best friend, his dad, passing away, and him thinking, you know what, I'm gonna
Still
stop.
hit him.
Yeah.
Still punched him in the face a few times.
Yeah, and still saying, you know what, I'm gonna retire because I promised my mum I was
What
gonna
if he comes
stop.
back?
One day,
Do you think he
Yeah.
will come back?
there's always conversations.
I think there's a
Possibility.
chance that he will.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
we'll see.
We'll
I would hope he doesn't, but because I rate it if he doesn't big time.
I read
It
it
looks
much
better
like
better.
that
on his
on top.
record as well.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
out on top like that. It'd be a great example for the Muslim community as well
Yeah.
of him saying something, following through.
Yeah.
Because the way he said it about the mum, the parent thing,
Yeah.
it didn't sound like it was a joke. So if he was
Yeah.
to come back, then
It sort of waters down
it
his.
was down a little bit. But again,
Yeah.
everyone is just a human. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
There's all sorts of things of I don't even want to backbite, but
Yeah.
there's all sorts of things. 'Cause I have friends that train in. I have one friend that trains in Dagestan right now.
Yeah.
Tell me stories, man. That's crazy over there.
Yeah.
It's good to. I feel like, in some aspects,
Mm.
you can be fantastic
Mm.
character wise, but then there are other things that the whole community will condone
That are wrong.
that are completely wrong.
Yeah, that's human nature though. There's perfection and imperfection. But yeah, from him,
You gotta
Khabib,
just draw the best things. From
exactly, from everybody, every culture, everything. Everyone's got a bad and good side. And from what I've seen from Khabib and from what I've admired from him, is like just okay, wow, okay, I've got both parents alive. I have to start becoming a bit more close to them. Start becoming a bit more. Yes, it's so easy to get lost. Like just focusing on your own things every single day. I want to do this. I want to wake up. I want to make money. I want to go to this place. I want to exercise. I want to A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you're so focused on yourself that you're forgetting that somebody else for 23 years of your life has raised you and is thinking about you still on a daily. You know, it's
Yeah.
so
You
so
won't get
easy.
anything like that.
And doing so
Yeah.
much for you to achieve your
You'll never
goals.
get anything like
Exactly.
that, parent wise.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I have to. I'm gonna have to start like becoming a bit closer to them, and you know, that's why I admire him, because I'm like, okay, he's Muslim like me. Yes, he's at the top of a particular
Great role
sport.
model when
yeah.
he came on the scene, man. I remember
Yeah.
how I felt. Mad.
Yeah, Allah. You know,
Him
so
out there,
yeah,
crazy, man, crazy.
and just I'm like, you know what? I like that a lot about him. What about you?
I was gonna say Khabib, but I would
Yeah.
say I could take some parts of Kobe Bryant as well.
Yeah.
He kind of lived the player one lifestyle as well. He took his opportunities. Like he would say, when he got drafted, like the NBA, that night usually people go and party, you know, with their family, celebrate. He's a guy that just went straight to the gym and started working for the next phase of his life.
No surprise he
So-
look at where he ended up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame as well. So yeah, that just
I was gonna say
those type
something.
of things you can take, and just the decisions he makes in order to improve as a player one, and you know, taking your craft serious.
Yeah.
But I think it was mostly Khabib, like the influence he made on the world. Like I'm not even into MMA as much, but I at least watch his fights, and he kind of got it thinking in my mind in MMA, watching UFC.
yeah,
It's mad.
Obviously, this guy here got me into MMA as
Yeah.
well. But
No,
yeah,
no, no. But I feel you, man. I had friends that would be watching, and they'd even tell me like, I get nervous watching Khabib, and I feel that because we all do. It's just a
100.
bit more there.
yeah,
Feel invested, yeah.
and he's
love
just
it.
so proud of who he is. Like, because we've been through high school, some of us at public schools, seeing like you feel like you're outside the box, you know, saying these words like inshallah, alhamdulillah. But he's saying on national television, like it's so normal. And now you're seeing footballers say it, Ronaldo, and you're seeing these random
Inshallah.
celebrities.
Did Ronaldo say?
Yeah,
it?
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Before the Gaethje fight, he was on Instagram live and they asked him, "Who's gonna win?" He goes, "Khabib gonna win, obviously. You know, that's my brother. Inshallah." And I'm like, "What is going on?" He has the most followers on Instagram.
Ronaldo?
He gets
Ronaldo,
paid to
yeah.
post.
He gets
Yeah.
paid.
Like
to
he's
post
got
stuff.
to that stage.
I think we was checking it before. 900,000
Paid it a house, bro.
pounds.
100.
He gets a house every
Oh,
post.
no, euros.
Damn.
Every single Instagram post.
There's a benefit because I've always said from day one, I even said to Megan, Troy's wife, I said, The day I get to UFC, I'm deleting my Instagram, and I'm still standing by it. I said it, you know, I've put it out there too many times now, but it's also
Why is that?
What about like
I don't want
management?
that, man. That's
Like
the
you
thing.
can always get management because you can
People
still
have-
make an influence, like Islamic.
People have
Islamic
said like that side I'll get to in a second. That's the one thing that made me come up with a solution. But first, it was just completely exit, because why have all your shit out there? Too many people can always comment on, and even if I'm not going to check it, I don't even want the hassle, you know, of having it there. But of course, it's a benefit. It helps you to get to the point you need to get to. The thing that people have always hit me with when I bring it up is, one, what about sponsorships and stuff? You know, you can make posts. I don't care about that. My passion is business, and my passion is fighting. I fight because I want to achieve some things there that I love, but I want to make my money outside of that, and I don't want it to be tied to it. But of course, you will get as much as you can out of it, but that covers that. Number two, I said, what about promotion? Because the more you promote yourself, the more people will want to see you fight. It'll be easier to get to the fights you want. You know, only so many fights you have left in your body. You got to be efficient with that too. But the one that fell on was people saying, what about, and this was Josh mentioning it, is what about using your platform, you know, to put good things out there and share things? And I said, okay, I came up with a solution. I'll share it with you boys after.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely,
yeah, okay, beauty.
Because
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
still
the
going to delete it 100%.
Yeah.
I like the idea of athletes having like management behind their accounts, because there's actually a Liverpool player, 19 years old. He recently like started to play more games in the first team, and you know Liverpool, like one of the best teams in the world. We just
The best thing.
Oh, Jesus.
and we
Yeah.
actually we lost
Podcast,
what
yeah.
we lost last week, and it's like the first loss of how many games.
Yeah.
And then he's getting death threats online, so he had to actually delete his Instagram.
Yeah.
This is a guy coming into like
He's
the
joking.
next phase of his life. Which player?
Curtis Jones.
No, Nico Williams, right back.
Nico Williams.
Welsh guys. So yeah, so it's like he's playing only a few games and he's getting death threats because he lost one game.
It's too much. It's too much.
There's no need to be part of that.
It's a very toxic and negative
There's too much
world. Yeah.
Mm.
Like as in, yes, there's good in it, but I think just it's like that.
accent.
Yeah, it's
man,
just
because
too much.
think,
Stay away.
what's the point of having too many people able to
See your life.
communicate and like me sharing things should be. That's why I've got my little private one that I'll keep, the very very private one,
Yeah.
and I'll keep that one. And I doubt that will ever go past 100. Like there shouldn't be more than 100 people that
No
I
life.
want to really be seeing what's going on, and that I want to really share what I feel. Because when you share, you also need to be conscious of, do these people really want to? I know I'm happy to see what they're doing. Are they happy to see what I'm doing too?
True.
How
I've
do you?
seen people screenshot my stuff and send it in group conversations and stuff,
That's
and this and this, which is fine. But the way that they talk about it and stuff, you go, what's the air raid here? I want to protect that. So
How can you?
that's what I'm gonna do. Delete it.
Bro, it's just one problem less. Like, you know how
Yeah.
many problems stem from some certain thing?
No. I
You get
understand.
people
understand.
commenting, tag, like the
Yeah.
more you have out there, the
Yeah.
more opportunity there is for people to not just have an opinion, but for something to come out of it.
Yeah.
So
They've
Like
lived, they lived without it, bro, for how long? Like, you
for
don't need it.
ages, You don't
cuz.
need it. You don't need it. You don't,
Oh,
I've
you don't
figured
need it.
out.
Oh,
You
yeah,
100%
no,
don't
no.
need it. You can leave a legacy and you can chat and give things that people can listen to and benefit from through things like podcasts.
Yeah.
Also, there are many options. There are many solutions there. You know.
I mean, the only issue with the like, if I was to be famous, having a small, very
Yeah,
You are famous.
no, I like that. What's it called? Is how can I? It sounds very weird. Apart from say 15, 20 boys and a couple family, how do I know it's not gonna come out through him? Come out through him.
What do
As
you
in,
mean?
as in, someone might screenshot a few things.
Goes to a
not-
WhatsApp group. That's all
Yeah.
it takes.
Hey, like what kind of things? Something you're scared to share?
Like, if it's a private convo, like, say you got a close friends list, and then you got, like, you think you can trust these 10, 15 people on your close friends list, and then you've done something privately, you usually only do if your boys around, you know? And then they decide to screen record or screenshot what you've done because they know it's a bit messed up, but they might have ulterior motives by doing it.
It might actually go like in their head. Oh, this is hilarious. I want the world to see this. It's very. It's like
That,
it's
yeah, I
thin
think
line.
of course that anyone would know is no one would like that.
Yeah.
The one I was talking about includes that, but it's more seeing something that I'm comfortable to share, and then like mad, good on you, whatever. But then
Someone
narrate
else.
about it later on with the thing. Look, this bloke, man, he's doing this and that, but he says this, blah,
Backbiting
blah,
stuff.
blah.
Yeah.
I just want to minimize the ability for that to happen. You know? So get rid of this shit. Let people talk away.
Yeah.
away. I know you can cancel comments and stuff, but what a headache, you know? Why
Yeah.
even need to?
Why have they been there?
Why
bro?
even need it? Like you said,
Wallah.
how did these guys get to the Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali? These guys were global stars when they went to places. Not that that's a goal. It just shows you that this is a small side of things now. Yeah, it's always has been. It's just that it's become a part of us. So,
Because you think about it, yeah, everyone's going off this. You have to have it. Who said we have to? It's only been
Exactly.
here for 10 years.
So, but same way I think. Who says I have to have it? Like, do I gotta follow the rules that everyone out there is saying? Oh, it's got to be done. Otherwise, this.
No.
Whatever. You
Or what
can
if,
think
or if you don't have it, how do people look at you? Like you haven't had it for how long?
For this year, or you're talking before
Or just
that?
even let's just say till today. Like,
I'll be honest with you, I only had social media in total for like a year.
but then
yeah.
some people look at you differently. Like people you just meet, it's like
Alright.
I'll share this on
Yeah, but
Instagram
that's
to
the
you,
good thing.
but
I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
If I don't know, it's better for me.
I love that. Yeah.
100%,
Do you
yeah.
know
Ways
what
to
I'm
keep in contact. You know, my number.
Smoke signals.
Exactly.
Bro, that's still work.
Smoke signal.
Morse
Bro.
code, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
that's ways. Too many people have access to you. That's another thing. You don't want too many people having access to you. Man.
Exactly.
You gotta protect what you got going on
Yeah.
True.
and just look after you and yours.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll drop
Especially-
Bilal Abdul wisdom, sorry, before you go.
Alright, go on.
Bilal Abdul's my old man. So I want to drop some wisdom from him. He says the more and more people get of you, the more and more your value decreases in the world. So the more and more you get of something, the less and less it's worth. I'll give
Scarcity.
Le Bouton.
exactly
Scarcity.
Louboutin. That's
The Bouton, is that a
Louboutin, Louboutins.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
it's
That's a
about
meme. I'll show you
Yeah,
afterwards.
I'll show you afterwards.
But yeah, but
God.
exactly, bro. If there's a scarcity of you, yeah, or like people don't get a lot of you, then you can actually perceive that your value goes up. And one thing that my dad goes, be careful when you're talking too much on the podcast. Don't give too much of yourself, because if you do, you'll start to notice that your value in society starts to decrease because they've got more things to pick apart.
That was me. I was like to myself on the podcast, I said, first, I'm going to be very open. I wanted to just share exactly what I am. And then I started to see the aerators and the stuff, and I didn't like it. So I decided just recently, from now on, the podcast for me is a place to leave things with the intention that this could be left around for people to listen to after. Maybe no one's going to listen to it. But that's now where I'm at with it. And maybe that will change. I'll share other stuff, but it's like, okay, I'm going to share
You've been more
Things-
wary of it now, yeah?
a little bit more wary of
Yeah.
the aerators and the backbiters.
But it's about the like-minded individuals. That's the thing, yeah. And I think one thing that we had to settle with was the fact that not everybody's gonna like our content. Not everybody's gonna
Like,
want to see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you were saying from before, there's perfect and imperfect in all worlds. I'm not saying that we're perfect. I'm saying that in general, you're gonna have the opposite reaction always. That's how the world works. If it didn't have that, there's
Some
no
people
balance.
Some people people will always react differently. You can't worry about that.
Yeah,
You just got to do you. Yeah.
exactly.
Simple.
I'm gonna hit you with quick fire questions now. I know that part of your goal is UFC, inshallah.
Sure.
And I've been watching UFC since I was a youngin.
Oh, off that, how long have you been watching it for? Like,
A minute. A while. But
okay, good.
Been watching it 2 minutes. But no. But what is the greatest fight of all time UFC history? Go. Is it subjective? Yeah. So you're not
Yeah.
wrong if you say what you say.
I'll just pick a great fight. Damn, that Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald fight was insane.
I told you.
Insane.
That's really
Was
good.
insane, especially because at the time that I watched it, I hadn't seen many scraps like that. Proper. Just mad. Crazy scrap. But then there's also great performances. McGregor versus, what's that guy's name? Eddie Alvarez.
I murdered him.
Because that was, as someone who does it, man, that was just so crazy, world class, especially striking. Grappling, take nothing from Khabib. What he's done is, I don't think we're ever going to see that. It just can't happen. Like, the level's getting too good as well. But
Dominant.
you can grapple and just, finish it. But striking, there's so much going on. The distance, the timing, to not get caught, pull back, bop, catch him, 2, 3, 4. This guy's a former world champion. This guy's not just, out of the people that fight in the world, how many get to the UFC? And out of the people that get to the UFC, how many even crack into the top 10 or the top 5? That's another level already. The people that are UFC fighters that I've seen around, that you realize the level's not that crazy. That's why it made it also much more, okay, this can be done.
Yeah.
But to crack into that top 5 list, and then to fight for a world title, and then to do that striking wise.
This
Ridiculous.
guy fought Gaethje,
Yeah.
Eddie Alvarez,
Yeah.
before like all the hype and everything, and he was a freak. Gaethje was coming in, he was mauling people for a life, yeah, and to take the hits that he copped from Gaethje and still win the fight, and then coming into versus McGregor, because Gaethje hits hard.
Eddie Alvarez the bald guy, yeah.
Eddie Alvarez the bald guy,
Yeah,
he got-
bald.
yeah.
that guy, yeah.
Problem is, he didn't understand that the mental aspect of the fight between him and McGregor was gonna absolutely outweigh him, bro.
What was it? Talking shit before?
Because he was thinking so much about how good he can shoot that shit back. I was just gonna give up, man. He didn't realize how much it was gonna take out of his mental toll. Like his energy was so focused on not getting one upped in the conversation battle that he ended up fighting McGregor, and he's like, I don't even have anything in the tank. Do you know
You
what I
gotta
mean?
really regulate that, and the mindset thing never can get phased.
Wallah.
Never can get phased, and that's something you gotta practice in sparring, because you gotta muck around in sparring too, talking a bit of smack, whatever. This happens, that happens, and there's a thing that happens when someone talks smack and he hits you. You just want to hit him, you know,
Yeah.
not even in an angry way. It's like, I want to get
Pride.
that one back. Yeah, that would be it. But also just in the middle of the moment, it's like the flow of the round. It's like
Yeah.
it can't go like this too much, because not only has he landed, he's talked smack. That looks bad on me for the judges as well,
The
because they've
humans,
seen
yeah.
that one of the things that they control is octagon control. That's big octagon control.
Yeah.
But what he did was incredible, man.
Lawler McDonald, you're right.
That was a cracker.
Do you know the spit afterwards, and he's got the cut
Yeah.
lip, and then he spits and he goes, "Come on, bro, don't give me Jade, bro. Wallah, give me Jade."
Because to put up with that, man, it's not easy. It's not easy when you get hurt, you know, to go like that. So I also feel their heart in there. Like,
They gotta
man,
get Jade from
it's,
that too,
it's
bro.
rare. It's rare. You've seen people, do all sorts of stuff these days, but those guys, they're a rare breed, man. Those
Wallah.
two kind of guys, rare breed. You know, I still don't know. Haven't answered that question for myself yet. You know, we only know when you go through it. That's what I mean. So crazy. A lot of athletes, but those guys were just proper. Not to get into that whole hero mode, but proper fighters, warriors. Like the heart. Let's go.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Favorite fighter of all time, or greatest fighter of all time, in your opinion?
That's two
Like
different
I
things,
said,
come on.
Like greatest fighter of all time.
We have to go with Muhammad Ali because of what he's done for martial art. Ooh, Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee. What they've done for martial arts.
Be water.
Name.
Water.
Bro, look at Bruce Lee. And
Drink
look at
water.
the time he was around and the way he was moving and the things he was saying about fighting and martial arts.
Wallah.
That was so ahead of the time. That stuff is now, you know, light on your feet, countering, pop. I watch his stuff and I'm like, he was doing this then? Man, I actually got to look into him a little bit more to see how he got to there.
Yeah.
What his background was in martial art, because the philosophies and the concepts there, it wasn't just air raids.
Time traveler. Yeah.
What was that?
Feels like he was time traveling.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bro, he's nuts. Wallah, you're right.
Okay, what about UFC?
All right,
Favorite?
UFC fighter.
Yeah.
UFC fighter. Favorite UFC fighter, or greatest UFC fighter of all time.
All time.
Answer both. Greatest and favorite.
Greatest, we're going to have to go with, based on performance, can't go beyond Khabib, because
Wrong.
to be undefeated
Sorry.
in mixed martial arts, the craziest martial art, to be undefeated, that means what you've done has 100% worked on everyone, on top guys, even the McGregors, even every single person that's come across you. That took a lifetime of dedication.
Bro, unquestionably, he's only lost one round in all of his professional career.
Only one
Ridiculous.
round.
Yeah.
Only one round out of 29 fights.
Oh my.
And then you've got John Jones, based on him being just a weapon. But
He had moments. He's had moments. Like in comparison to Khabib, and I agree with you on that. Because he's had moments where you've seen him in like, he's in a bit of deep waters now. He's got
yeah.
Gustafsson, Reyes. Bro, even Thiago,
Santos,
oh my
Yeah.
God, bro.
took him to some
And
bad
Santos
places.
got rocked.
We'll see where he goes, Jones. But those two
Heavyweight.
guys are top guys.
Yeah, neck and neck. Well, I think Khabib retired at the perfect time. There's no question mark.
That's what I'm saying. If he comes back now, he's gonna ruin it a little bit.
GSP's a good fight for him though.
Ah,
I reckon
he's
he'll
a
be.
weapon.
We were talking about it before. I think he left. We were talking about it before. His word. Like imagine,
Yeah,
like
he
imagine
said it
his
as well
back.
with
He
the-
broke his word. Yeah, 100%.
Who's GSP?
George St. Pierre. Yeah, I was
He
going
has
to
G
talk
in his
to you
name, so
about
he's
that,
possibly
bro.
the GOAT.
There was an interview with him and Joe Rogan maybe 4 or 5 years ago. This is pre-fight nerves and all that sort of stuff. Like, I want to ask you how you deal with it.
GSP, I got some banter about GSP, podcast banter.
No, come on, bro.
No,
No,
go,
come on,
go.
I'm down to hear it. But basically, he goes, he hates fighting. He hates it, but he loves everything, the glitz and the glamour that comes with it. And
Does.
he goes inside the inside the change rooms. Maybe the day of the fight, he goes, he's absolutely crapping himself. Like, he doesn't want to do this because it's the part of the fighting that's like the most intense. Like, this is where you perform. This is where you find out the difference between the best and the worst.
The nerves kick in.
The nerves, yeah. And he's puking. Like, he's before the fight, he goes in, he pukes, and then he goes to himself. Like, I have to G myself up. I have to do affirmations in the mirror. Like, you're the greatest. And he gets G'd before he walks out, and then he walks out. But he has to G himself up. Like, he's not. And I know that there's only a fair few people that enjoy violence enough to go, I love fighting. Like, it's something that I wake up for. Like, violence is like in my blood. Tell me about how you deal with pre-fight, if you have pre-fight nerves, and how do you deal with
The
them?
nerves you can't escape. Everyone's going to have the nerves, but it doesn't take away the love you have for it. But honestly, I heard something once, I think it's pretty true. Nerves, excitement, the same feeling. Yeah, that's what you tell yourself. But for me, pre-fight, I definitely get that feeling, you know, because especially when it's a full camp, it's not like something short notice, because you know who you're fighting. You know you're going to be punching on with this guy at this time later on. You know he's training, you know. So he's in your head a lot, you know, even if he's not, you're just thinking that you're preparing for this. And then finally you get close and it's mad. But it's also that nervous feeling. That's probably what you would call it, the nervous feeling. But it's mad because it's the hard part's done. All the weight cutting and the ugly stuff, for sure, once you're in the cage, zero nerves. Zero, you know, just go time. I think that's for everyone. I think it would have to be because you just don't think at that stage. But it's in the back as well. It's ugly waiting, man. Everyone's getting ready, warmed up. There's a certain tension in there.
Yeah.
What more can you do? You got to just sit and wait, ugly waiting, and then warm up. And there's a lot of other things you do. But I really, really enjoy that process too. I put on some music first, some Afro beats. I'll just vibe.
Love a bit
I'll
Afro
just
beats.
chill. I'll vibe and chill. You know,
I
just
know you're a sociopath for sure.
vibe, chill,
Before you knock someone out, it's like,
and just kick back and try and get in that rhythm. And it's a mad place to be. I'm not trying to talk myself up, but it's a mad place to be
Yeah.
because you're feeling so good, but also you're feeling cringy wise to say, but you feel a bit dangerous as well because you're just G'ing up. To
Bit edgy.
go. Yeah, you're
Wear a
like,
leather jacket beforehand.
but you just
paint
G'd
nails
up.
black.
And you're like, okay, whatever, dancing, smiling. Also, maybe people deal with it differently. I get to see so many fighters, you know, deal with it differently. But then I'll pray 2 rakat and I'll make dua.
Good on you.
And then from there, I feel like I really calm down and I make dua before, you know, for me, for the guy I'm going to fight, to both be okay, you know, live after this and to
Live
come away
after
with
this. Did I just hear that?
Yeah,
and
bro.
to
All
not
aids.
come away with too many things because you start to realize, and also a bit of a shift happened recently for me, but I make that prayer and I also ask Allah to give me strength. And I'm telling you, I feel that's an advantage that we have because Josh has even said it, Troy has even said it. They've seen me in the fight beforehand and you go in there because you already know it's written. Whatever's going to happen right here has been written.
That is.
Whether I'm going to win, whether I'm going to lose, there's everything taken away from you. You know, now we're just going to go. And you make that dua, like whatever you've written for me, I accept. Please give me victory, give me strength, make me strong, dangerous. Let me win every exchange.
Yeah.
Don't let me lose out on any exchange. Let me cop any long-lasting damage. Let me survive this and for him to be safe and okay too. Yallah.
UFC embedded. Have you seen the one with Khabib in his last fight before Gaethje? Have you watched it?
I watched it.
I should have because I've watched everything, but what happened in
He has a mirror inside his room, and on the mirror he writes, "When Allah is with you, no one can harm you." And he has that sort of
Can't
stuff.
escape that, bro. I'm telling
know
you,
what I mean?
different feeling.
He wrote it all his fights, you know, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. And he
He
wrote
wrote- he
down
wrote down
all
all
his
28,
fights and
yeah.
his wins.
He got
Yeah.
a sticky pad, whatever, I don't know, sticky notes. He put it all 28 in a row.
It's a cookie jar thing.
People do everything. I visualize for sure. After I've prayed, then I get a little bit of time to myself. I'll visualize and then just visualize certain scenarios. Visualize my hand getting raised. Visualize knocking out, finishing, whatever.
Yeah,
And then I put the music back on and I get into that same state again. And then we walk out.
you gotta flow. Yeah, Wallah, you gotta flow, man. Dream fight.
McGregor.
You against
Striking,
McGregor?
yeah.
Yeah. I want to smack him, bro.
I gotta be in your corner that time.
Done.
I've gotta be, bro.
Both get him, bro.
I'm jumping the fence, bro. I'll go and
Nah,
battle
look,
Bill and Dennis.
I'm not that guy that hates McGregor. I actually do rate him, and I did actually rate him massively before then when all the racist stuff started. I got into that whole G'd up, man, this guy's a dog, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, it's just a game. But I just would love to fight him. You know, you think to yourself, I think to myself, what would be the ideal nemesis? You know, like you need one. You know, Ali had his, Tyson kind of had his, Khabib definitely had it with McGregor, and it's like McGregor or some type of that. You just want someone that it's gonna be a real proper scrap. You really want to win this fight, and it's not just because you know he's so bloody like, good.
Fast.
All aspects, mental, physical,
Yeah,
bro.
you know
That'd be
he's
hard,
good. You know
man.
he's good. This is gonna count. Like this is the biggest test.
100%.
His mindset is strong. His training, everything. Like, let's go.
Is this some sort of like challenge for you as well? You're like, okay, if I can fight him one day, I'm challenging myself against the best.
Yeah, because this is who you would see as like this guy is
Yeah,
the ultimate challenge.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy at the end of the game, yeah.
Yeah.
If you beat him, inshallah, and I'll pray inshallah for you to do it. If you do fight him and you end up beating him, is that game clocked?
Nah, come on.
Depends who else is out there. You know
belt
what would be
Khabib.
ideal? Someone coming up at the same time. Another little Russian somewhere or something.
Islam Makachev's still
He's,
there.
I think a little bit ahead of the game there for me. But someone maybe as I get in, there's even a few that you look at. I saw when they were pumping up Sean O'Malley, when I was pumping up Cejudo, I was like, okay, these guys could be one of these guys, whatever. But whoever, that's the guy. I want a guy like that.
I don't like Cejudo's talking game, but everything else is a freak.
I interacted with him at Adesanya's after party,
Okay.
and he's a good guy, but too much air rating. Too much air rating.
Too much Triple C.
I think maybe just because people were taking photos and stuff, like I couldn't, I could sit down and chat to him like I was chatting to you guys, but I got to do that with the other guys but they're not from his gym, you know, from CKB, and cool guys, down to earth, solid people. Now I'm not going out claiming I'm their boys, but to be, because I cut weight with one of them, with two of them in Sydney. We ended up being in the same sauna. Brad Riddell, he's a G. You know Brad Riddell, he's from CKB. He's an absolute weapon. He's in the UFC now, he's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to chat, and when we're cutting weight, you know, it's such a difficult thing. It was good banter. Yeah.
Good banter. You know, keep that. That's after podcast. You guys don't get that. Inshallah, we'll have Sem on again. This time he'll have the title in Australia's. What's the
Weight class.
the industry, the organization here.
Eternal MMA is probably the best organization in Australia at the moment.
Inshallah, we have that. Unless you have it already. Do you have that title already? He'll have that title. Inshallah, next time he comes on, he'll bring the title on, and inshallah, we'll get Jade for him to go to the UFC.
Inshallah.
Corner him. Inshallah. I'm already planning everything for him. I'm with you. But yeah, like I said, subscribe, comment,
Share.
engage with us on Twitter, share, go check
Get around
out
this
Sim's
podcast.
podcast as well.
Thanks.
Player one, number one.
Play one podcast.
He's gonna make it, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thanks, boys.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much,
it.
guys.
Appreciate
Shout out his coach. What's his name?
Choice
Troy,
Kid.
my first coach, of course, I got to shout out my team as well. You know,
And Josh.
Simon Carson and the boys at Absolute MMA. Simon is the OG at Absolute. You know, he runs everything there. Solid guy. And Josh, my best mate. Yeah.
Beauty. Legend.
Peace.